Kevin was always, he was aggressive. No scrum half got the better of him. Andy Gregory hated him, detested him, because Andy Gregory was one of the world's best scrum halves. Tough lad, but Kevin just wiped him every time they played. And he knew, Andy knew. And we played a semi-final of a cup and they didn't play Kevin, they subbed him. I think it was Morris. And Widnes won. And they put Kevin on with 10 minutes to go and he destroyed. Gregory went away, but he'd had a great game until then. And everybody still thinks, why wasn't he on to start with? Because we all knew that Gregory hated playing against Kevin. And nobody was going to get the better of him. He was in there, he was sharp. The ball was on the deck, Bolt was in, or he was in, and he was a winner.
When I went coach, I found it easy because I'd played with them, and then I sat back and took the chair and didn't play with them, but I knew they had the ability, and I knew they could always win the games, and it didn't have to come from with so many good players. It were unbelievable. There were players around him that would look after him if I wasn't on that field trying to look after him, when I took a backward seat. Yeah. So, so many young players made the grade at an early age, because of the ability. You have got to have something special at this game. To be in that first team at Leeds, you had to have something special, and I could spot that in young players. And my youngest team at Wigan in that final was, front row, not Kevin, but David Ward and Stevie Pitchford and Big Roy Dickinson, of course. And Roy were another example, come through the Colts. Got the backing from Mick Harrison, a big old prop from Hull that we had. He taught him all the rules of the game. And they were all so young, but they had something special. As you well know, Stevie won the Lancel Trophy at Wembley, and David captained Leeds for many years and then went on to be coach. Yep. And Big Roy was involved for a long time at Leeds. Yeah. But all young players that had something a little bit special than just an ordinary player.
The connection between them was not just on the field, but it was off the field. And we did the Monday Club, which was an amazing afternoon that you wouldn't do now. You would not go at 3 o'clock in an afternoon in the town hall tavern with all the lads drinking and absolutely having a ball and taking the mickey out of each other and ripping each other off about things that they'd done wrong, and it was just that camaraderie that is quite special, and I think that is what carries on the pitch, that they backed each other, everybody backed each other, and the other thing is they all knew where they were. They all knew. You see that try where John cuts across and slips it inside. It wasn't rehearsed, but they knew where to go, they knew where to run, they knew what it was. If they went, it'd give them it. I've been with Kevin Squire and Gary Morby on Friday night at the game, and two great lads, and both said the same, second row forward, straight runners, and they said, Gary Morby said, first game, I says to John, right, where do you want me to run? He says, you run, find the gap, I'll find you. He says, and bang. I hit the gap, I've got the ball in my hands, I've scored a try. Kevin Squire said the same. He says, it was a dream, as a second row running forwards, it was a dream to play with because all you did was run. And if you found the gap, you had the ball. He said, and I think that went through the team. And like Kevin and John were linked. They didn't have to talk. I remember speaking to David Ward when we did John's book, and I said, well, he said, he never spoke to me, John. He said, just nodded. So it went that way or it'd go that way. He said, I knew when he gave me the signal where to go and what to do. And all the Alan Smith big cup match, behind, 5 minutes to go, thick of mud, scrum down on their line, and he just said, stay on the wing, you're going to score. As I said on the wing, I got the ball, I'm in the corner, we won the game. He said, and I'm thinking, where's that come from? And that was it, and they all had this, it was like telepathy, you know, which I think is very rare now. You know, I think it's very rare now. But it was, the lad said it was a dream to play with, and they made us. I said, but he would say, you made me. Because if I put that pass there and you weren't there, I look a fool. So John would always put it on the others, not him. He'd say, they made me. Because if what I did, I relied on them doing the other, which was quite, you know, defining on how he thought about the game. But all of them, I mean, Wardy, Kevin Dick, Heron, you know, I love the guys. I feel a part of them because we're part of John.
I mean, he signed as a young kid, he came through the Colts, and, you know, progress was so quickly that when I was a coach, I had to pick him because he had all the attributes. He could kick goals, he could dummy, he could run, he was tough. He could do everything. At 17-year-old, you know.
Good players make their mark instantly, don't they? Instantly, you think, oh, hang on a minute. I don't know where he's come from. You know, I'm going back to John. You know, Leslie Cup, 16-year-old schoolboy, gets a call that day, you're playing tonight at Hunslet. Goes out, kicks 10 goals, scores a try, puts a record scoring thing on a debut, and 16-year-old, and he's come back home and sat with us as having his meal. So, you know, but then you spot them, don't you? You know, and then the impact, and then going on from there. I mean, they did a lot today about his goal kicking, but Kevin had far, far more than just a goal kicker. He was a really, really good footballer, ball handler, you know, very dangerous, and defensive-wise, he killed any scrum half that was playing against. Yeah, yeah.
You know, I said to him at half-time, we were behind at half-time. And all I said to him when at half-time at Wembley, I said, I'm not bothered with behind. You go out there, you, Holmesy, you, Kevin Dick, or you, Dave, we get down there, one of you drop a goal, and as soon as that happens, you saw it. They all dropped a goal. During that second it happened, we scored, and he scored a try on the stick, young Kev. We won the game.
Underneath it, he'll be absolutely over the moon with it. There's no doubt about it. I know Kevin. I've known him for a long time, through John, obviously. But we've always kept friends since John passed away. There's that sort of connection. When I see him, and I know what it is, it's the John connection, which is nice. And there's a lot of these players are, it doesn't really matter, but it does really, doesn't it? You know, to be recognised in that era and with those other players that have come before him. And I think especially for me today was the fact that John and Kevin were so close and that he got that award. And I actually said to Gary, I want to present that. And I said, because the connection is, if I did it, if our John had been here, he would have done it. So I want to do it on his behalf.